This video is devoted to the plural formation of Somali nouns with the ending o. And this suffix, this ending o, is the most common of the different plural endings for the formation of plural forms of nouns in Somali. It is used for the majority of nouns, so we have to exclude the different types that do not take this ending o. And feminine nouns that already in the singular end in o do not take this plural ending o. Instead, they take the plural ending oyin. So we have, for example, hoyo, hoyoyin. So that is one type that does not end in o in the plural. Another type are masculine nouns that end in e. They do not take the plural ending o. Instead, they take the plural ending yal. So we have abe, abayal. And the third type of nouns that do not belong to the group of nouns taking the plural ending o are masculine nouns with only one syllable in the singular. And there, in that group of nouns, we find, for example, af, which has only one syllable and is masculine. And therefore it forms the plural through reduplication, repetition of the last part of the word, the last consonant, and the vowel a is inserted as well. So we get afaf as the plural form. But all other nouns add the ending o in the plural. So that means that every feminine noun that does not end in o in the singular takes the ending o in the plural. And a couple of examples, very simple words like kap, kabo, sarir, sariro, shoes and beds, and an enormous amount of other feminine nouns. If the feminine noun ends in I, the consonant y has to be inserted before the plural ending o, simply in order to prevent the two vowels to collide. Two vowels do not occur next to each other in Somali. So the consonant y is inserted as a buffer between the vowels. We have mindi, mindio. There are a few feminine nouns that are a little bit tricky, but the trickiness is mainly, or it's in the singular. The complication is found in the singular, but of course, if you don't know the word, it doesn't really matter if it's the singular or the plural that is the problem. Anyhow, Somali words do not end in m, and if the stem of the word ends in m, that is what we will have in the plural before the ending o. So we have hair, hairs on the head, timo, which is a plural noun in Somali, because there are many small thin hairs on a head. That's why we use a plural in Somali. And the singular of that noun, just denoting one single hair, is tin with an N. And that's simply because words don't end in M in Somali, so the M has to change into an N instead. Also in Somali, words cannot end in two consonants. So that also is the reason for a couple of complications. So if a stem of a word ends in two consonants, which we can see in the plural, like ga, mo, hands, where we have two consonants before the plural ending o. This is not possible in the singular, and instead we have to add a vowel in the singular between the two consonants. And in this case, the stem of this word even ends in an M, which is a second complication. So we have to insert a consonant between insert a vowel between the two consonants and change the m into an n in the singular. And the vowel inserted is usually a copy of the vowel that is already there in the stem. So in the singular, we get ga'an. There are a few exceptions to this principle of copying the vowel already present in the stem. So there are a few words with another vowel inserted, usually I, like in the word for day, plural malmo. So the stem is malm, but again it ends in m. That's impossible. We need to change it into n, and we need to insert a vowel between the two consonants. And in the end we get singular malin. Then we have the masculine nouns. And when it comes to the masculine nouns, there are two conditions. The word cannot end in e, and it has to have more than one syllable in order to belong to this group of nouns that take the plural ending o. Some of these nouns have this inserted extra vowel in the singular. So that vowel has to go in the plural. And some nouns double the final consonant before the ending o, some masculine nouns. And finally, some masculine nouns add an extra y before the plural ending o. So the masculine nouns are a little bit more tricky than the feminine nouns. Let's start by looking at those that have this inserted extra vowel. And again, like in the feminine case, this is because the stem of the word ends in two consonants. So in the singular, this consonant cluster has to be broken up. And we have harf, letter of the alphabet in the singular, and harfo, letters in the plural. Hilip, meat in the singular, and hilbo, pieces of meat in the plural. These words with an inserted extra vowel to break up consonant clusters are a bit more common in the masculine gender than in the feminine gender. As we saw with the consonant m in the feminine examples, this consonant cannot occur at the end of a word. The same is also true for the consonant k. M is replaced by N at the end of a word, and K is replaced by G. So, for example, in the word tooth, which has a stem ilk, we can see the stem in the plural, ilko. In the singular, the K cannot occur at the end of the word, so it's changed into a J, a G, and an extra vowel is inserted, so we get ilik, ilik in the singular. But let's come to the major type of masculine words in this group that takes the ending o. If the word ends in a consonant b, d, r, l, n, then this consonant is doubled in the plural before the ending o, if the word is masculine. This doesn't happen in feminine nouns, only in masculine nouns. So sahib, sahibbo, babur, baburo, hayawan, hayawano. And this is, of course, also then reflected in the pronunciation, so that the b is a really strong b, little bit longer, and also very, very energetic b, r and n. Some words actually have a stem that ends in m, but of course, again, this doesn't show in the singular, where it is replaced by n, but it then occurs in the plural as m. And also this m is doubled if the word is masculine. After other consonants, the consonant y is inserted before the ending o. And this is then very common in masculine nouns. And again, this is something that occurs only in masculine nouns, not in feminine nouns. So libah, libahyo, and so on. Of course, if the word already ends in y, another y is not added. So ere, ereyo words. Yeah, and that was all I wanted to say about plural forms in o, and it was quite a lot. So let's make a short, quick summary of the most important facts. When it comes to the feminine nouns that belong to this type of nouns, you just add o. So the feminine nouns are simple, just add o. Kap, kabo. The masculine nouns are a bit more complicated, and they fall into three different types. A smaller group of nouns, masculine nouns, have an inserted vowel in the singular that then will not be there in the plural. So harf, harfo, for example. Then we have a large group of nouns that end in one of the consonants that will be doubled in the plural, like babur, baburo. And then we have the rest of the consonants that will be followed by a consonant y before the plural ending o, like hafiz, hafizyo, for example. There are many more things to say about the plural in Somali. There are irregular plural forms, there are Arabic plural forms, and there are forms that are not really plural forms, but they have a plural meaning. And such forms that are actually singular forms with a plural meaning are called collective nouns, and that's also something worth discussing in a separate video.